Hello, gazers.
Hello, gazers. I hope we're all well. Are you well, Dave?
I'm very well, thank you. Yes, full of the joys of spring. The sun is shining. I've bought the doggies this morning. Health, health, health this end.
Health, health, health too. I've done some quite intensive weightlifting this morning, actually.
Well, it shows. I mean, you're looking fully pumped and plumped at your end.
That's the filter. Got on, love. We've got a very special show, but before we go into things, you want to tell people to follow us.
Yes, please give us a follow. If you're a long-time listener or you're listening to us for the first time, please give us a follow. Really helps to spread the word of the problematic gaze. And that being said, we are the problematic gaze.
Which means that each episode we take a piece of pop culture and ask ourselves, is it problematic? And if it is, why? And what that says about society then and now.
But because we've got a really special episode this week, we're going to forego that. And we're talking about Big Brother, which celebrates 25 years on UK screens with little breaks here and there. And this week, Celebrity Big Brother kicks off in grand style. You may have watched the episodes already. You may know who's in the house. We don't as yet. We're going to watch it this evening, aren't we? But yes, Celebrity Big Brother starts tonight. So we thought, what better time to celebrate all things Big Brother?
Yes, and also to examine Big Brother, to put it under the problematic lens, because it's an amazing snapshot of the last 25 years of British history, really. It starts in 2000, when we're just coming out of fears that the millennium bug's going to wipe us all out. And you have this show that feels very emblematic of the new century. So I think there's a lot to unpick, and I've been quite excited about it. Big shout out to Terrell, my pal, who will be watching and will have just wet his pants with excitement. Weeks ago in Soho, over many drinks, he said, what about doing an episode on Big Brother? So here we are. So thank you, Terrell. He's your biggest fan, Dave, he says,
Oh, thank you, Terrell. That's really nice.
There's never counting for taste.
Terrell's obviously got a huge amount of taste, so thank you, Terrell. And thank you for suggesting Big Brother, because it has featured heavily in my life for the last 20 years. I'm a huge fan, and it has featured heavily across the cultural landscape of the UK. It was a phenomenon when it first came out, wasn't it, in 2000? The first series really hooked viewers in. Obviously, with the law of diminishing marginal returns, it has kind of declined in popularity to a certain extent, viewing figures, etc. But it still remains talking point. Water cooler moments still happen within the Big Brother house. And, well, it remains to be seen what happens this week and next week with Celebrity Big Brother out on ITV. So what I should say is the reason why this is a special episode is because last week we put out a call to arms to all our gazers to send us in voicemails or send us in texts, your memories of Big Brother, your favourite Big Brother moments, controversial Big Brother moments, and we've been inundated from gazers, haven't we? So we've got a list, we've got a little running order of talking points we're going to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, the phones on floor 52 have not stopped ringing all week. It's just been chaos. Very grateful, so thank you, but please stop.
Yes, please stop now. We've got enough. Let's just talk a little bit about what Big Brother means to us before we plunge into the history of reality TV. What does Big Brother mean to you?
Well, I loved it when it started, got totally swept up in it, genuinely thought it was amazing telly. The nasty Nick denouement was riveting. And I think what's been really interesting is watching a couple of documentaries on it as research for this. God, it made me feel really nostalgic. I wasn't expecting it to at all. You've obviously alluded to the fact that you're a super fan. So tell us about your relationship with Big Brother.
I am a super fan. I got hooked in from the very first season. And I think one of the reasons that it really appeals to me and continues to appeal to me is I'm really interested in watching human interactions and in reactions from people to certain situations and put them in that pressure cooker environment and see how people respond to each other, how the smallest little inciting incident can provoke huge reactions in people. And coming from a TV background where I'm focused on human interactions and relationships and characters, whether it's working with actors to portray the truth in a scene or a character or an emotion, or coming from a writing background as well, what prompts these conversations, what prompts these stories? Basically, what happens when you're writing a story, it's not necessarily what the people are talking about, it's the subtext behind it, it's how they're feeling, the characters' emotions are feeling in the background. So a lot of the time, two people can be having a conversation in a room. What they're talking about isn't the interesting thing, it's what they're feeling underneath. So that's what's really interested me about Big Brother. Obviously, I'm, a whore for sensationalism as well. I love a bit of gossip and a bit of drama and a bit of intrigue. But it is them simple human emotions and reactions from people. And also, I think it's really interesting the way the producers of Big Brother, when they construct an episode, how they find stories, how they tell stories. They can sway in the editing the emotions that the viewer's supposed to feel as well. They can cleverly construct heroes and villains. The first series of Big Brother, it felt like everybody was quite innocent in it and it was portraying real stories. Then there was a kind of an accusation levied at Big Brother, which was that, now the housemates know what's going to await them on the outside world. They know how to play it. They know how to construct their own narrative. So when they come out the outside world, they can benefit from it, whether that's through marketing, promotion gigs, or sell their story to the paper, or get TV work out of it. At the same time, I don't feel anybody that's put in a house for 2 months can keep up an act. Their real characteristics and their real human emotions will eventually play out. So that in itself is really interesting to me. So yeah, I just think on the surface level, it's put people in a room and watch them explode. But I really do like the small nuances and the character interactions and things. So that's why a Big Brother appeals to me and continues to appeal to me.
But mainly it's because you're a whore for a bit of celebrity tittle-tattle.
Absolutely. Hence why I've just continued to enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to this series this week.
Before we go any further, I'd just like to do one quick little shout out for Jan and Greg, who are currently on a road trip across America and who messaged me to tell me that they've downloaded all our episodes for their listening soundtrack, which I thought was very nice. Just don't be playing us too loud, otherwise you'll end up in some Guantanamo Bay style camp, darling. Because you know what they're like for the gays in America now. They love us.
I know. I wonder if Donald Trump listens to us. I reckon he'd love us, don't you?
Next. On that bombshell, why don't you tell us a bit about Big Brother, Dave?
Okay, so for our international listeners, I'm sure the majority of the world knows what Big Brother is. The UK version, the series premiered in 2000 on Channel 4 and it immediately became a ratings hit. It was initially presented by Davina McCall, All Bow Down to the Big Mother. It was subsequently transferred to Channel 5 and it was taken over by Brian Dowling, who'd won season 2 of Big Brother, and then Emma Willis replaced him a bit later on. And now, from April 23, it's been on ITV and it's presented by AJ Adudu, goddess in my opinion, and Will Best. And Marcus Bentley is the off-screen narrator. And obviously, the series takes its name from the oppressive character known by that name in George Orwell's 1949 novel, 1984. Big Brother is watching you.
Yes. We could probably talk at this point about how reality TV is still in its infancy at this point and how Big Brother really does change the mold and shake things up in terms of normal people going on television and becoming celebrities. And there is an argument, has it cheapened celebrity? Is it now anybody can do anything to become famous? Well, it's going that way anyway with social media. But famously in Britain, we don't really have reality TV. We've got things like Opportunity Knocks and talent shows out the 70s and 80s, but it's not until the 90s when you get a whole slew of reality shows which follow people like Vets in Training, Driving School from 1997, Airline set in Aeroflot in 1998, and Castaway in 2000. But Big Brother's based on 2 other shows, isn't it? One's The Real World. I think you've got a bit of something you want to talk about that, The Real World.
Yeah, so The Real World is a US show that was kind of produced on MTV. And it first came out in 1992. So, a good 8 years before Big Brother. And what it stemmed from was the producers saw the success of shows like Beverly Hills 90210 and Melrose Place, which focused on, a small group of teenagers and early 20s people living and interacting together. And they thought, actually, those shows were a success. So on the wave of that, they produced The Real World, which was in various forms. It was basically a group of youngsters living in a loft in New York. Their interactions were filmed 24/7 and it was put into half-hour, 20-minute episodes that went out on MTV and also became a ratings hit.
There's also been a show in Holland which locks people in this like Eden Project thing. I can't remember what they had to do for them for 6 months, I think. And then we start to get this slew of reality TV shows that suddenly ignite. So I'm a Celebrity follows pretty quickly after Big Brother 2002. It takes elements of Big Brother, you know, the voting, the kind of tasks and stuff, but runs with it and actually becomes more popular than Big Brother because it's ITV. It's ITV's big show, you know. Then we get Britain's Got Talent 2007, Pop Idol 2001, The X Factor 2004, and that glut of those talent shows. And then we get the rise of the scripted reality shows, such as The Only Way is Essex 2010, Geordie Shore 2011, Made in Chelsea 2011, of course, Love Island 2015, which again still borrows elements from Big Brother from that episode we watched. But from being the behemoth and being the only kid on the block, suddenly it was pretty much drowning in this landscape of reality shows that we've talked about in the comeback episode as well, how suddenly everything's a fucking reality show at this point. So, yeah, but Big Brother was undoubtedly changed things. We went from the Maureens of driving school and the Jeremys of Aeroflot to 10 or 12 people who really did seem to represent a young kind of progressive Britain in some ways.
So I think what we should do is start to deep dive into various series. And what we've got is we've got some contributions from our gazers. Thank you, everyone, for contributing. So let's kick... Oh, hang on. We just had one come in. A bit late in the day.
Any idea who it's from?
It just says DM. DM, do you know DM?
Danny Minogue?
Danny Minogue, maybe. Not sure. Bit lazy to be just texting him right now.
Bit tardy.
Bit tardy. But anyway, let's just play it. We'll see. If it's no good, we'll just cut it out.
Hi, Dave and Dr. Lee. I am so pleased that you are doing a show celebrating Big Brother. Thank you so much. I don't know why I'm saying thank you because I don't present it anymore, but I did, and it meant a lot to me, that show. I don't know, it was just one of the greatest programmes I've ever worked on and so much fun.
Oh my God. Was that Davina?
A panic attack. Breathe, Dave.
Was that Davina McCall?
Breathe. That was Davina McCall. It's Big Mother.
Well, the Big Brother.
Did you know that Davina was a gazer? Are you all right, Lee?
All right, Jay.
Oh.
It's so beautiful.
Okay, let's pull ourselves together.
Pull ourselves together.
Davina, thank you.
Thank you, Miss Davina McCall.
Thank you. She was the face of Big Brother for a good many years, wasn't she? And obviously still continues to love the show.
Indeed. Yes, God love her. We'll be hearing from her again.
I think we'll be hearing from Davina again. Let's pop Davina in the green room for now. Give her lots of healthy fruit.
Yes.
And she can maybe pop in a little Pilates session or something while she's waiting. Let's move on. So we've got a few people who want to talk about Big Brother 1, the original Big Brother. We've got one of our gazers, Mick. So Mick, what have you got to say about Big Brother 1?
It was September 2000, I think. And it was the first series, and there was a controversy between Nasty Nick and Craig, the eventual winner, because Nasty Nick had been cheating. And I remember it caused a gender-based civil war where all the women took the side of Craig, where all the men, at least the people I was with at any rate, took the side of Nasty Nick on the basis it's a game show, he's there to win it. He's not there to make friends, he's there to win 70,000, I think the prize was. And that was the start of the reality TV behemoth that has been bestowed upon us ever since.
Well, Nasty Nick. Let's talk about him.
Nasty Nick. Let's talk about him because he was a bit of a weird one anyway, wasn't he? And like he'd made this story up that had an fiance that was killed in a car crash, that he'd been in the army when he hadn't. It's kind of weird because the first series, watching bits of it again recently, it's quite dull. The tasks are a bit dull. But obviously this, and you were talking before about the narratives that get edited and put together. I mean, this was just being like, oh my God, he's up to something. And the big confrontation where everybody was watching and everybody was cheering Craig on, and which took like on a class dimension because there's Craig, the Scouse, working class, salt of the earth builder against Nick, who was a posh boy in rugby shirts and loafers. Never trust a man in a loafer. And it was explosive, wasn't it? And apparently that scene, the showdown, they'd gone into the diary room and said, we're going to have it out with Nick tonight. But the producers realised that if they did it the next morning, they'd be able to get it into that evening's show. And so they begged the housemates, hold off until the morning when we can get all the cameras lined up in the best positions for everybody, then do it. So already it's being edited and narrativized, isn't it? But it was fantastic, wasn't it?
I mean, it was compulsive viewing. It was proper water cooler moment, wasn't it? Because Big Brother had been going for a good, 3 or 4 weeks, I think, until that point, kind of bubbling along nicely, kind of gaining viewerships, etc. And you might argue that if you found a person cheating and breaking the rules, as per Nick was doing, he was writing names on papers, wasn't he, and showing them to people as if to suggest who they should nominate next. So he was kind of manipulating the game. You would imagine that the producers might want to say, okay, mate, you've been cheating, you're out on your ear. But they kind of realised that actually this was what they were looking for. This was the story that they could propel Big Brother into a higher viewership, etc. So they decided to take on this story, edit it as such. As you said, Craig was the hero of the piece who confronted Nick. Nick was the villain. I mean, Nasty Nick, that headline writes itself, doesn't it? Nasty Nick. Yeah. Tabloids started to embrace it, and it just took off. So yes, this is the start of creating narratives, creating inciting incidents, creating confrontation, conflict and resolution and all that kind of thing. But it was big.
I mean, and one of the other things that really drives it is that the website, remember the internet is kind of in its infancy at this point. The website will become the biggest website in Europe with the most traffic to it while Big Brother 1 is running. 7.4 million phone calls are made for the final show, which is just astonishing. And again, this is the first show when really there's this interaction with its audience that hasn't been present in reality shows up to this point, whether that's by voting or whether that's by doing tasks. I remember reading in The Sun that I think the guy from Bizarre was saying, this is the future. The internet's finally here, because the internet hadn't really been able to establish itself as a thing. But now suddenly we're able to watch the Big Brother live stream as well. So, yeah, I mean, it really tapped into the technology that was kind of fledgling and allowed that just to proliferate. And I think that's one of the reasons why it became so big as well.
It did.
Apart from the Kraken story.
Absolutely. And it just kind of went from strength to strength from there, didn't it? Just before we leave Big Brother 1, we've had a text on Instagram from Marie, another gazer, with regards to OG villain Nasty Nick, where the viewers and housemates united in their hatred of a guy just trying to win a reality show. She says, I met Nick in a pub in Lincoln years ago when he was playing in Panto in Scunthorpe. He was actually very nice. So nasty, Nick. Not so nasty.
Not so nasty. I mean, Panto, Scunthorpe. I mean, what else do you need for a story?
Do you know what I mean?
It's got it all, hasn't it?
That's as much as Marie says. I would like to know what happened once they met, but obviously that might be for another episode. Yeah. But thank you, Marie, for texting in on Instagram. Yes. Another gazer there. We're going to move on to Big Brother 3 now. We're kind of hopping backwards and forwards in time, as the problematic gays tend to do. And we're going to take another voicemail from another gazer, Ruth. Hello, Ruth.
Hello, Ruth.
This is what Ruth has to say about Big Brother 3.
Hi there, guys. It's Ruth, one of your favourite gazers here. I would say that my favourite moment in Big Brother history was Alex Sibley in Series 3, behind the bathroom door, singing along to That's the Way I Like It. It's just perfect timing. It wasn't staged. It just happened spontaneously. Have a really great day and we'll be in touch again, I'm sure. Bye.
Thanks, Ruth.
Thanks, Ruth. So do you remember this moment? Alex behind the door. Seems like a fairly kind of innocuous moment of someone stood behind a door. But what happened?
I think it's one of those things that Big Brother could do when a number of different things happen just to create a bit of magic that nobody was expecting and that nobody had planned, and it's completely impromptu. So Kate is looking for Alex, who's in the bedroom. Alex has secreted himself behind the door. Kate opens the door and goes, Alex, Alex! Like that. Shuts the door. As the door shuts, revealing Alex behind the door, he looks up at the camera. At exactly that moment, That's the Way I Like It by Casey and the Sunshine Band appears, and he just mouths it a bit, and it is just magic in a bottle right there. Tiny moment, but the stars aligned to create something special.
That's great, isn't it? That's what reality TV can do sometimes, something instantaneous and spontaneous that you weren't expecting. Now, Gazer Ruth, you are in very good company with your contribution, Alex Behind the Door, because somebody else had something to say about that.
First off, I want to give you some of my favourite moments from the normal Big Brother. And I'm just trying to think of a few moments that were really, really special to me. One of them was Alex dancing behind the door when the song came on, and that was amazing.
Well, Ruth, you and Davina could be twins.
Could be twins.
Thank you, Davina, for that extra little snippet.
I'm sensing a sprinkling of Davina throughout the whole of this episode.
I'm sensing a little sprinkling.
A Davina dusting, yeah.
Davina's in the green room with a little button, like an intercom button that she can just press when she wants to chip in.
Yeah.
Davina, if you can hear me, just feel free to chip in whenever you want, okay? Just press that red button and you're straight through.
Straight through.
Okay, so we've also got a little text from another gazer, Fiona, regarding Big Brother 3. There was a guy called Johnny. I think he was from your neck of the woods, actually.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Yeah, as is Fiona. She says that my mum's friend is married to Johnny, who came second in Big Brother 3. Well, thank you, Fiona.
Showbiz connections.
Showbiz connections.
You're like 2 degrees of separation from Johnny from Big Brother, darling. Who'd have thought it?
So season 3 was kind of like a vintage year, wasn't it?
Yeah, we had a few very high-profile contestants. You've got Jade comes in, Alison Hammond's in there, Kate Lawler's in there. This is the first stage of Jade's career, care of Big Brother, and she's treated appallingly by the press when she arrives, at the same time as the chav bashing that's going on in the media everywhere. And the headlines of talk about the pig, get rid of the pig, all this stuff. It's really brutal. But then do you remember when she gives PJ a BJ and he's a right dick to her the next day, and she was just like a little girl, wasn't she? And I think that turned, but what a great series.
Yeah, what a great series. I mean, like you say, it's a very kind of class-based demolition of this poor, naive young girl at the time. Obviously, we can talk about Jade later on, about what happened to Jade. But at the time, I just remember, yeah, it was just relentless kicking from the media, wasn't it, on Jade? But this was, obviously, Big Brother 3 was the time when going on Big Brother meant that you could capitalise on your success when you left. It was when people were starting to get savvy about what being in Big Brother could mean. So yes, a lot of kind of notable alumni from Big Brother 3. Okay, so as we are prone to do at the Problematic Gaze, we like to jump backwards and forwards in time. So we're going back to Big Brother 2 now. So we've got a message from another gazer, A. Lynn. A. Lynn, do you know an A. Lynn?
Oh, my Auntie Lynn. It's me Auntie Lynn.
Hi, Dr. Lee and Dave. It's Auntie Lynn here. Just letting you know, my most favourite clip of Big Brother is in Big Brother 2 in 2001, I think it was. Brian Dowling and Narinda Kerr. And it was during the night when Narinda Kerr had uncooked rice in the bedroom and she was throwing it around the floor. And Brian, being Brian, got very scared and anxious, and I creased at him in the bed. And I nearly wet myself when he started screaming and screaming and screaming right up my street. Loved the bones of Brian, and I was the best contestant in any of the Big Brothers.
Oh, Auntie Lynn.
Auntie Lynn. We were obsessed with Big Brother. She still watches it. I was in London and she was up north still. And we were in this internet chat room where we chat obsessively about it for the first 2 series. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Very interactive.
Very interactive.
Brian Dowling and Narinda, I remember those two very well.
And it goes back to what I was saying earlier. You felt like Big Brother represented a kind of wide, diverse set of people, and it felt inclusive, and it felt that anybody could do it. As we'll see, anybody did.
Yes, it was a fun series. Brian was. I mean, he just captured everyone's hearts, wasn't he? And what was really nice was the fact that being gay wasn't the biggest thing about him. He was just a human being who happened to be gay.
I mean, Helen came up with so many amazing, funny sayings. I like blinking, I do.
Oh, Davina's just getting quite button happy up there in the green room, isn't she?
Yeah, keep chipping in, love. Keep chipping in whenever you feel like it.
Yes, that's good. That was short and sweet from Davina there. But yes, Helen as well. Everyone loved Helen. She was just very kind of innocent and pure, wasn't she? The nation took Helen to their hearts.
Yes. So that was season 2. Season 3 was Jade and Alison. Season 4 was the boring one, wasn't it? That was the one where they'd had some criticism for season 3 because by that stage people are openly playing the game. They know what to expect. So it was less about personalities for season 4 and more about some genuine human interaction. But my God, it was dull.
Yes, it was. Yes, they kind of went on a different tack, didn't they? But it didn't quite work. So for the next season, they decided to choose a bunch of housemates that perhaps would be incendiary when they were put together in a house.
Yeah, they were chosen not to get on with each other.
There was an infamous incident that's been forever known as Fight Night. They took a couple of contestants out of the main house and put them in a secret room and got them to watch the interactions with the main house. The main house thought they'd been evicted, but lo and behold, once they'd heard all the housemates slagging them off, etc., they put the housemates back in the house, and it erupted into what was fairly sensational at the time, but then was also kind of considered to be a little bit overstepping the mark a little bit, I would say. Fabulous to watch. These basically erupted into a large-scale fight. You know, plates were smashed, things were thrown, security had to come in and take some housemates out. I mean, it was fabulous to watch, if you ask in my opinion. Very incendiary.
I watch it for some reason. I can't remember if I dipped out of it at this point, but I was dipping back in. But I'd heard about it, obviously. And yeah, it was just this massive clash. The two girls, Emma and Michelle, were the ones that were taken out and put into their own separate living quarters, weren't they? This was also a season where Nadia won, of course, a trans woman who didn't tell her housemates she was trans, but the public knew and the public loved her and voted for her. And again, 2005, this would be. No one's blinking an eyelid, are they? It's just a trans woman winning Big Brother.
No. Oh, the red light's blinking again.
Oh,
the red light's blinking
back.
again. I think Davina's incoming. She's back.
She's back.
We had endless kind of great quotes. I mean, Chanel, she sat in the diary room chair and she had been told by Big Brother that she might not get a gas canister for her straighteners. And she got very upset. And she said the best line ever, which was one of my favourites. And she went, I can't help it. If I've got a natural kink to my hair. And I just loved that so much. It was the pathos that we couldn't give her canisters for her straighteners, but it was like she couldn't help that she had a natural kink to her hair. And I just loved that so much.
Well, Davina's talking there about Chanel from Big Brother 8. What I really liked about Chanel was when she walked down the stairs, obviously had walked through the crowd, adrenaline running. She walked down the stairs, and as she was walking down the stairs into the house, she just went, fuck me up the bum. I always remember that. So Chanel was a great character. I mean, she kind of clashed with Charlie a lot. Do you remember Charlie? There was the two women just constantly at each other, and Charlie was quite an inflammatory character as well, Charlie Uchia. And the main thing about Chanel, really what she's kind of known for, is her relationship with Ziggy.
That's right, yeah.
They kind of went through a romance, then they went through a breakup, and Ziggy uttered the immortal line, "It's not you, it's me."
Oh, God, Ziggy, love. But of course, we're starting to get the realization that if you couple up with somebody in the Big Brother house, you've got more of an interesting story for press and Heat magazine when you come out of it. And this is when you start to get Big Brother couples in OK magazine or Heat, you know, at their weddings or whatever. So
yes, and obviously then that went on to spawn Love Island, which is primarily about showmances.
Yes.
So yeah, this was kind of like the infancy of that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, red light's flashing again.
I'll never forget when we had the sort of test when we put them all in cardboard boxes, and the producer called me and said, we're going to put all the housemates in cardboard boxes and we're just going to film the cardboard boxes, and they've just got pictures of them on the side. I was like, what? And we're going to use that for a whole show, an hour-long show of them just in boxes. It was one of the greatest hours of my life. I have never laughed so much as watching a load of housemates talk to each other, and it was just cutting from cardboard box to cardboard box. It was so funny.
I do remember that. It was a whole programme on people in cardboard boxes. Big Brother 6 this was. There was the likes of Kamal, Science, Derek, all kind of in these boxes with pictures of themselves on the cardboard boxes. And what seems like a really kind of weird and ridiculous concept and idea turned again into TV gold. It's constantly bickering at each other. Apparently they had to stop the task in the end because it lasted up 24 hours. People were in the boxes for 24 hours. I think the task was to see who could last the longest in the boxes.
One of them said he had a wank in it. I don't know which contestant it was, but thanks, Davina.
So I feel as though we should depart from the normal Big Brother. But before we delve into Celebrity Big Brother, there's one person who I feel we should mention, who two of our gazers have texted in, Lou and Lucy, both gazers, have texted in to say their favourite Big Brother moment ever was Nikki Graham in the diary room. Who is she? Who is she? Where did you find her? Moment.
Yeah. Nikki's a legend, another Big Brother legend, isn't it? Another tragic life, unfortunately. This is when Susie had joined the house, hasn't she? She was a new contestant and then had nominated Nikki, I think, or said something to Nikki. And then she goes to the dining room and just explodes in this melodramatic, so heightened. It's like, bloody hell, Nikki. But she was another one that people slagged off at the start but grew to love because she was just bonkers, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was just this young girl, and she's obviously, she was just very demonstrative, wasn't she? The smallest little thing would set her off. I mean, some might say it was quite performative, but regardless of whatever it was gold. And again, the kind of like the likes of Jade, of Helen in Big Brother 2. Nikki was one of those people who you just couldn't help but love. And I'll always remember when she got evicted, pretty early on actually, she was frightened about going out into the outside world. And when the doors opened, when she was evicted, the reaction that she got and the look on her face, the realization, just like, this overflow of love and adoration for her. And I just remember it was just the sweetest thing to see the look on her face. And I think she was so popular, they sent her back in a few weeks later on.
Yes, but they got into a lot of trouble for that because all the people who'd paid money to vote her out weren't happy. Suddenly, Nikki's back in the house 3 weeks later. But yeah, it shows as testament to her personality. They let her back in.
Yeah.
Should we have a look? Because very quickly what happens after Big Brother becomes a hit, we get the celebrity version. And again, the fledgling of this, celebrities doing, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here, that kind of stuff. So we have a really limited lineup. They're in there for 6 days. And then we've had a plethora of various celebrities over the years, haven't we, in various guises. And I'm sure most of the American ones haven't got a fucking clue what they're letting themselves in for. I do remember Jackie Stallone when they were sitting down for a meal going, where's the wine? Why is there no wine? I was told this was going to be one of the best places in the United Kingdom.
Yes, one of our gazers, Kelly, texted in about Bridget Nielsen and Jackie Stallone.
I think my favourite moment has to be, it's jerky. It's jerky.
Big Brother 3 that was. We knew Jackie Stallone was going into the house and we were waiting for Bridget Nielsen, who obviously was the ex-daughter-in-law of Jackie Stallone. And it's just forever imprinted on my brain. It's a classic moment, a cultural moment when Jackie Stallone walks in, Bridget Nielsen goes, oh my God, Jackie. And Jackie Stallone goes, yeah, Bracky.
Yeah.
It's so much.
She turns into John Travolta, doesn't she? She's like, yeah, Bracky. That's brilliant.
Yeah, thanks, Kelly, for texting in for that one. Yeah, Jackie Stallone will go down in history for me. I thought she was brilliant. But one of the most famous celebrity Big Brothers was Big Brother 4. And Davina's got something to say about that.
Celebrity-wise, obviously, my favourite one was Chantal going into the house as a celebrity and having to convince everybody that she was a singer, and then finding out what everybody did to be famous. I think that was the one where Michael Barrymore was in there, wasn't it? And it made you love her so much when she was so innocent and pure and sweet and lovely. and you kind of got an insight into how nuts like being a celebrity is, and how she was just couldn't believe that she was in there as a celebrity, and she had to make everybody believe that she was one. Pete Burns, I think, was in that one as well. He was a really, really, really good friend of mine back in the day, and it was lovely having him in there, and lovely watching it back and seeing him in there again now. But that was probably my favourite celeb Big Brother.
I think Davina said it all there, really. Chantel.
She was so great, wasn't she? But that was a big hitting cast, that Celebrity Big Brother. So there's Chantel, there's Pete Burns, as Davina mentions, Michael Barrymore, Jodie Marsh. This is, of course, a series with George Galloway and Rula Lenska pretending to be cats. I mean, that is just seared onto the retinas of a generation, isn't it? The horror of that. It's horrible.
It makes you feel a little bit dirty, doesn't it?
Soiled. Absolutely soiled.
A vintage year, wasn't it?
And Chantal and Preston, their love story begins here, you know. They do end up getting married, I think, don't they?
Yeah, I think they were married for a year. But yeah, Chantal just endeared herself to the nation immediately because she was kind of cast as the underdog amongst all these celebrities. So immediately you were rooting for her. And I think she really pulled it off. I mean, you know, to hold your own against really huge personalities like Pete Burns, Michael Barrymore, George Galloway, Dennis Rodman, I think she clashed with but stood up to. Oh, Shirley from Creative.
Oh, God, let her in. That's what she wants.
Okay, here we go. Shirley from Creative, everybody.
Dear lovely David and Dr. Lee, I liked the celebrity Chantal. I thought she was lovely. And she was she was a pretend celebrity. She wasn't a celebrity, but but she won it in the end because she was just a nice person. And I never liked Big Brother for being a bit mean to each other, but I loved it when she was a nice person and she won.
Oh, that sounds like they're having a party in there or something. Should be working. But thanks, Shirley. You're right. Chantal was lovely, and it was nice to see her triumphant and prevail.
It really was. Thank you, Shirley, from that. But I suggest next time that you don't send us voicemail when you're obviously in the middle of a party. Should be working up there. We pay you enough. So come on, Shirley.
Let's try harder.
We're going to jump forward quite a bit to Celebrity Big Brother 19. And our lovely gazer, Dane, has got something to say about that.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Dr. Lee. 3 words. Chicken-livered shit. What does that even mean? Watching Kim Woodburn's iconic meltdown at the time was hilarious, but watching it now with my problematic gaze, kind of uncomfortable. She's clearly intoxicated. She's sloshing Prosecco everywhere. She's just mouthing off at everyone. Hilarious at the time, not so sure about now.
Thank you, Dane. Kim Woodburn. Oh, my God.
You horrible, horrible people. You're such a bunch of cowards.
She was fabulous. Yeah, it was really uncomfortable. I mean, she was very incendiary and she accused the footballer of obviously being an adulterer. She came in late. She accused everyone of ganging up on her, being gang-handed. She put in a performance. I mean, she really earned her fee, didn't she, Kim Woodburn? She was fabulous, but at the same time, quite uncomfortable to watch sometimes. And then she ended up being led away by security up the stairs, didn't she?
Yes,
She's like,
she
oh,
did.
lovey, you see what I have to put up with.
Yeah. Speaking of unpleasant, Big Brother has been sometimes quite unpleasant, and none more so than when the Jade, Goody and Shilpa Shetty thing kicks off. So it's the 5th series of Celebrity Big Brother. In the house, we have Bollywood actress Shilpa Shetty, Jermaine Jackson. A couple of days into it comes Jade, Goody, with her boyfriend and mum. And by this stage, Jade has made good. She's got the perfume, she's got the book out, she's got the fancy car, she's made a lot of money, basically. Initially, it's all okay. There's a little bit of sniggering, there's a little bit of between Jade and Joe Mira and Danielle Lloyd. It starts to get really unpleasant and bullying, and at one point H is in the diary room telling this feels like bullying. All kicks off one night, and it's just really, really unpleasant. I think she should fuck off home, is what's said about Shilpa. They criticised the food she cooked. And do you remember Jade is being vilified in the press while this is going on? And when she comes out, there's no crowd. Over 15,000 complaints to Ofcom about this. Diplomatic row between Britain and India. It just blew up. Jade has to go to India to do a kind of humble pie trip, doesn't she, when it's finished, you know? And by all accounts, Shilpa and Jade made up. They had lots of conversations. And when Jade was dying, Shilpa was very lovely, apparently. But it was a really ugly piece of TV, actually.
Yeah, it was hugely controversial at the time. And those are the times when Big Brother can go global with the subject matter. Oh, the red light's come back on again. Hang on.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
I mean, the first Celebrity Big Brother was amazing. Do you remember that was for Comic Relief? And Vanessa Feltz was going through a really hard time. I think she'd gone through a breakup. And it was kind of playing out in the house. It was really heavy to watch.
Thank you for Davina. Yes. Do you remember Vanessa Feltz? She was writing on the black chalkboard, wasn't she?
Yes, it was on the tabletop and she was like frustrated. And I remember Anthea Turner just looking a bit embarrassed and on the sideline, kind of knowing, what should I do? And then Vanessa was called to the diary room. And of course, Anthea, being good Anthea, has to immediately write the table down because she can't bear to see it. I mean, it was kind of novel, wasn't it? It was novel to see these celebrities. Jack D won, I think, didn't he? Claire Sweeney was in it. Quite uncomfortable as well, actually.
Quite uncomfortable to watch, yes, but iconic all the same.
Yeah, there are a few moments as iconic as when David died.
David's dead. Okay, let's kickstart this off. It was Celebrity Big Brother 17. David Bowie had just died, and Teresa, one of our gazers, has got something to say about this.
David Bowie died, and his ex-wife was in the Big Brother house, and Angie went up to this American lady, and she went, David's dead. And the woman's reaction was just amazing, but I can't remember her name.
Because they thought it was David Guest who was in the
bed,
house.
And she just went nuts, didn't she? And then she kept saying, David's dead? David is dead? And she went running out to everybody in the garden and told everybody that David was dead. And then she went into the bedroom and went, he's not dead. Why would she say that? And it was David Bowie all along.
Yes, and David Guest was alive in the bed.
Funny.
Yeah.
Was there a special appearance by someone there?
Not sure. To be confirmed, not sure.
Was that you?
Yes, it was. Okay, yes, it was. But yes, David's dead. What a moment. Tiffany Pollard was the lady who ran into the garden screaming. It was Daniela Westbrook who had to sort it out. Remember?
I never thought I would see the day where Daniela Westbrook was a mediator for Angie Bowie and Tiffany Pollard.
She comes out and she goes, he's in there asleep.
That was a fantastic moment. That was just great.
Comedy gold.
Comedy gold. Okay, I think we're nearing the end of our Big Brother tour. Thank you so much to all our gazers who contributed. And a huge thank you to Davina McCall for being such a good sport, for contributing to our special episode on Big Brother. We really appreciate it. Oh, red light's flashing again. Hang on.
I loved that show. I lived and breathed that programme. It was so clever and continues to be just the most amazing format. Anyway, I love you guys and I hope you enjoy going over Big Brother. There's a lot to get at.
Oh, friend of the podcast, Davina McCall.
That was Big Brother. With Big Brother in mind, what are we going to be talking about next week?
Well, next week, we're kind of riffing on the reality TV theme, and we're going back to 1967 to look at a piece of television drama called The Year of the Sex Olympics. Written in 67, set in the 90s, I believe, and written at a time when it was believed that reality TV would destroy everything, pretty much. So the 60s, talking about Big Brother, basically. It's on YouTube, so get your homework done, gazers.
We'll post a link in our show notes. So all that remains to say is, if you want to contribute to future episodes, if you want to comment on anything you've heard, then please get in touch with us. We are at Podcast Gaze on TikTok and Instagram. If you want to email us, we are theproblematicgaze@gmail.com. And like we said at the start, please give us a follow if you want to hear more from us and get our latest weekly episode dropped in your inbox. And also, if you'd like to leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts, please do, because they really help to spread the word of The Problematic Gaze. So until next week, adios.
Adios, au reservoir.